Yes, my filthy friends. We are back, back. Another week of football action ready to kick off after a 40-39 record so far. Let's kick on with the 12 games. Let's not waste your time. The games are almost kicking off. If any of those games do turn out to be boring, y'all are more than welcome to check out your boy. Um, Firstly, to my Nepali folks, a happy Dashay. One of the reasons why I'm wearing red, the other one, you're gonna find out at the end of the show. So tune in, give it a listen, see why the other red one is. Comment down below. First off, we kick off with the game that's pretty much finishing up, or if it is already done, the Jaguars taking on the Chicago Bears in London, England. And I was already rolling with the Bears in this one, as they are handedly beating the Jaguars right now. Their offense and defense are finally clicking. The dysfunctionality of the Jaguars, I don't have any trust in them. Poor Doug Peterson's about to get fired again. And nobody cares. That's the more heartbreaking part. That's a Super Bowl champion that just kind of never really got the same opportunity again. Trevor Lawrence has not lived up to the contract nor the #1 pick. He has had less success than Baker Mayfield did in Cleveland, in my personal opinion, and he got pretty much ran out of there. But Jacksonville is so dysfunctional from the head down, they're not going to do anything. So the Bears won this handedly. Moving on, Texans at the Patriots. The first start of Drake May's young career, and they picked the wrong opponents to go against. I think the D-line of the D-line of the Texans is very solid. You have Danielle Hunter one side, Will Anderson on the other. That is not the defense that your young rookie quarterback, your top 3 pick, should be going up against. But hey, they get paid a lot more than I do. Well, they get paid to do what they do. I just cover it for the love of the game, to make those decisions. So hopefully they made the right one. The one that they for sure probably made a wrong one is letting go of Nick Caserio from that building, and letting him build the juggernaut that is down south in Texas with the Houston Texans. So he might have a little resentment for the Patriots, or at least that little get back that he would want to. And knowing all of that history, maybe CJ Stroud has a little extra to win this. Not that it would be a close game, but they probably win this handily as well. Commanders at the Ravens, one of the games that could have been flexed out to be Sunday Night Football. An excellent matchup between two former Heisman candidates, winners. Unfortunately, neither won national championship at their respective universities. However, one already won 2 MVPs, on the cusp of winning a Super Bowl very, very soon. The other has been showing flashes the first 6 weeks of something that has never been done before. So this is a phenomenal matchup between two still relatively young, for Lamar's case, young quarterbacks. This one, however, I will roll with the Ravens because of the experience that Lamar has, the experience that Harbaugh has over Dan Quinn, and just the continuity that Ravens have compared to the, yes, they're already functioning very, very well, but in those moments, they haven't been in the trenches with each other, and, those matter. So momentarily and experience-wise, I got to roll with the Ravens in this one, and I don't think this will be a similar matchup to the 38-35 Ravens beat the Bengals overtime type of matchup. I think this is going to be a lot closer, like a 24-20 type of matchup. We'll see how it goes down. If the score actually comes out right, we'll see. Browns at the Eagles. Why do I think the Eagles need to win this? Because it might be a must-win for their standard. They're at 2-2 right now. If they lose this one to the lonely Browns, people are going to be at Eagles facilities, Eagles stadiums, Eagles fans everywhere wanting Sirianni to be out of there. That defense under Vic Fangio, I don't even know what to talk about. They look a shell of themselves. Even the offensive line, without Jason Kelce, their emotional leader, they look like a shell of themselves. All the talent's there. It's still the same old guys. Everybody got paid, but maybe that's why they're not. I try to use this very rarely, but this might apply here. This is an insult that CM Punk used on John Cena. He told John Cena, you hated the Yankees because they were the juggernaut and all of that. Then the Red Sox became the Yankees, in essence, because they were the juggernaut. In this case, Eagles, same thing. You guys were the juggernaut. You guys just aren't anymore. You guys were the underdogs. And then you guys turned into the juggernauts. That's a better phrasing. There we go. Sorry, Eagles fans, but gotta roll with the Eagles in this one because they need it. Cardinals at Packers. Gotta roll with the Packers in this one. Home field advantage. Perfect 1 o'clock for Central Time. Perfect time for Green Bay, according to AJ Hawk's assessment for the game and the time itself. Cardinals. Do they still have a hangover? I know they just beat the Niners last week. Niners are a big team. They came back and beat the Seahawks, so they're not even worried about that loss. But, Cardinals, they're still getting used to winning. They're still getting used to each other. It's a relatively young squad. Gotta go with the Packers. Plus, you have Jordan Love and Xavier McKinney, who's getting picks left, right, center, up, top, down, any and every single direction that it comes from. And every single game against Kyler and Budda Baker, with the supporting cast of the wide receivers that the Packers have. Got to roll with that one. Marvin Harrison might have over 100 yards, but there's still a lack of weapons around Kyler for now. We'll see how that goes around. This one's Packers. Next one, Buccaneers at Saints. They are divisional rivals, so a bounce back game for the Bucs after a tough loss against another divisional rival in the Falcons should be in the books. That's where we got to roll with them. It's a divisional matchup. It's gonna be hard hitting in the trenches, but the main reason I'm really going for the Bucs is another rookie quarterback starting, and Spencer Rattler with Derek Carr being on IR for 4 weeks. The inside of that offensive line still, really rough. Vita Vea is gonna go crazy. Game, set, match. Next one, Colts at the Titans. We got to roll with the Tennessee Titans. And they're at home. This one, for some reason, even though they're 1-4, they are favored in. But I think they're still the underdogs. I will roll with them in this one. It's Flacco versus Will Levis. Will Levis needs to start putting some tape together because even Caleb bounced back. If he doesn't soon, Levis, my boy, you were a second-round pick. You will be gone. Just a heads up. I think this one, it's pretty simple for game plan-wise. It's run game wins. Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears. We just got to see which offensive line or defensive line decides to say, nah, this is our time. We're going to take over and emphasize finishing plays in the game. Now, hopefully, Will Levis doesn't, pretty much throw, toss, whatever, a 6 for the Colts. Could be for the game-winning play. But I digress. I already picked the Titans. Gotta move on. Talk about moving on. Let's move on to the divisional rivals. LA Chargers taking on the Denver Broncos. Like we said about divisional matchup, it's going to be hard-hitting. Teams know each other very well. They're very similar in what they are currently in. They are led by their defenses. They have quarterbacks that could make all the throws, have all the arm talent and everything. However, I don't think either has the necessary weapons that they need to go, into succeeding into the Super Bowl stratosphere and into contention stratosphere. I am rolling with the Broncos in this one. I still have that bitter taste of loss from last week, but also for the fact that Los Angeles Chargers are out Asante Samuel Jr., so whoever Denver's number one is going to be, being Cortland Sutton, he's going to be more open than he was. He's going to have more of a say in the game. On the other hand, I essentially count Ladd McConkey or Quentin Johnson as their number ones, and I don't know if those guys are even the 1C, 1D. That's with all the respect to them because they have far more talent than me on the field. However, none of that talent has kind of helped the passing game. So Herbert went from having Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Gerald Everett to a bunch of misfits and a whole lot of money. And that's where it comes down to. Got to roll with the Broncos in this one. Lions at the Cowboys. Another matchup that could have been a Sunday Night Football, but we'll get on to that later. Lions in this one. Why? Because they will demolish the Cowboys in the trenches. Cowboys still have injuries. They can't stop the run, which the Lions love to do. However, Lions do tend to waffle. They'll run the ball 50 times in a game, and the next game Jared Goff comes out and throws the ball for 50 times. That's not going to work. You need to focus on your run game. Stick with it, please. Beat the Cowboys. That's all I ask for. We move on. Falcons at the Panthers. And in this divisional matchup, we are rolling with the Panthers. Yes, we are the only team that they've beat so far in the Raiders. But in this one, I think they'll get their second win of the year just like last year. We predicted a Panthers win last year against the Falcons, and they did it. They got their second win of the year, or third, but it was still very low, but they got their win. And in the divisional matchups, that's when you want to pick those up. I think Falcons have been putting pressure on the quarterback, but have not been finishing with sacks. Matthew Judon, he became a tremendous help, but without finishing plays, your back end's going to suffer, and that's what the Falcons defense Achilles heel has been so far. Panthers still being led by Sam Darnold's in Minnesota, still being led by a veteran quarterback in Andy Dalton. I think he has seen a lot of defenses before. Even the defense that the Falcons do have, it's a new defense, or slight tweaks to a defense that's already been there. But Dalton has seen that. So I think, it might be a very, very extremely close game, or it's going to be a bloodbath and Kirk Cousins just goes crazy. But I think this one, Panthers, somehow, some way, they have to, because I don't see a lot of wins in their future, at least this season. So they had to pull this one out. Got to roll with the Panthers in this one. Got to roll with the underdogs in some, Bengals at the New York Giants, the Sunday Night Football matchup that I've been complaining about, because one team's 1-4, the other team's 2-3, and neither of those teams are worth watching right now. Burrow's been on fire to start out the season. Can't really complain anything about him. Jamar Chase is finally caught up. He's doing his thing. He's trying to get that contract definitely at the end of this offseason, and if that doesn't happen, I don't know what will. So many things to talk about the Bengals. Their defensive line's finally getting healthier, so we got to roll with the Bengals in this one just because of that. Dax Hill's out, at least for the next 4 weeks. That's going to be an interesting development to see, because that secondary's been absolutely horrific. Cam Taylor-Britt, he made that insane pick against the Kansas City Chiefs earlier in the season and pretty much has disappeared after that. Somebody needs to wake up on that defense and put the emphasis on, winning games, finishing games, everything. We'll see how that goes. On the other side, the Giants. Yes, they beat the Seattle Seahawks last week, but they're still not a good team. The offensive line for sure has improved compared to last year, because their offensive line last year was on par, if not worse, than the one that New England still is putting out to a degree. This is a very tough matchup, because I don't want to pick the Giants and then the Bengals win by a lot, because this could be a trap game, but it's not. We are rolling with the Bengals in this one. Neighbors out, Singletary out. It's a pretty easy ask. Next one, the final one, the main one, Raiders at Steelers. We are rolling, obviously, with the Raiders. It's going to be a bloodbath. That's the reason why we're wearing the other red. Old school rivalry since the 70s. First game actually happened in October 25th in 1970, but the Raiders are 14-12 all time. 3-2 in the last 5 meetings. That Franco Harris game still haunts me. We need to get this Mad Max and TJ Watt against, I think, Russell Wilson and Aiden O'Connell. Very, very interesting matchup. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm going to be back very, very soon for tomorrow's matchups.